Ah. Ah. Okay, here we are. Testing 1, 2, 3. Alright, guys. How are you doing? Right? First of all, thank you so much for coming here. We'll be using Fugi Tech for today because, well, it's a much quicker setup compared to some of the technical difficulties earlier. But yeah. Good evening, my name is Gold Guardian. I am a giant robot VTuber from the far fringes of space. Right. And I welcome each and every one of you. Before we continue, I hope the music is not too loud. And the audio is okay. Right? Because, you know, I'll be meeting a rather old friend tonight. She's a very lovely lady. And normally when I over prepare for things get absolutely scuffed in general. But so far, right? It's kinda louder than my voice. Yeah, I thought so. Okay, here's what we're going to do. Alright, how about now? Okay, testing. How about now? Is it still louder than my voice? That didn't change anything. No, it's not that I am still dark. I purposely muted myself in Discord, so maybe the thing will not light up. But at the same time, it's still the same. The audio level is still the same. Well, okay, that is awkward. Alright, how about if I just lower this setting? Okay, how about now? Yeah, this audio scuff has been, I guess it's pretty much tradition, right? Yeah, because the Fugi image will not lit up because I'm still muted in Discord. I self-mute myself before, you know, I bring in our guest for the evening. But I suppose we should all be fine. For the time being, I have set the audio and the voice together, so now is the music still loud? I just need some answers, fellas. If the music is still loud, we'll lower it again. Is the music still loud compared to my speaking voice? Well, the music is still loud. Alright, we'll change it again. That's not what I want. No, it's fine. What's more important is that the listeners should be able to listen to what we are talking about. Because with the new settings, right? Suddenly everything is so clear. So I had to, micromanage plenty of things. But anyway, yeah. Now that we are settled and now that we are all here together, so let us bring in our guests for the evening. Okay, for the time being. Testing, Mba, are you there?
Oh, hello. Hello, test. Hello?
Okay, I think I can hear you, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So, ladies and gents, this is our guest for tonight's bar hangout, and Rose, would you please kindly introduce yourself?
Hi everyone, my name is Rose Ravenheart. I am a CEO by day, a cartomancer by night, and yeah, it's very nice to meet you all.
Nice to meet you too as well. So, you are a what by day earlier? Because I heard a cartomancer bit, but
There's a CEO by day.
CEO by day.
Yeah.
And a cartomancer by night. And
yes.
if I'm not mistaken, the funny part is we first met over. I think I was also looking for fellow VTuber friends, right from the beginning, right? And then somehow we became Final Fantasy 14 buddies.
Yeah.
Yeah. Your regulars are here, and a devil 24/7. Very simple.
Look,
Yes.
that's hearsay. That's a rumor. Don't ignore simple.
Well, all right then. Although I can see the devil part, but but anyway, how are you doing recently? I mean, it's pretty funny because to a lot of my regulars, right, they often see our Twitter interactions, like they can see, right, and they even in the past they know that we play Final Fantasy 14 together because sometimes you appear in my streams. Although I think so far, to our viewers, this is pretty much our very first time collabing together with this.
Yeah.
Yeah, kan?
Yeah.
Tapi so far, it seems it's because I think it's like what you mentioned when we were talking before earlier. Somewhere along the line, we just got busy, I guess.
Got busy with our life.
Yeah, you got busy. Even the Kurkas team got busy, but the entire Baguette division got really busy, right?
Yeah.
But it's good to hear from you again, and honestly, thank you for agreeing to this collab because it's pretty much a long time coming, kan? So,
No worries.
what have you been up to recently? I mean, aside from Final Fantasy 14.
Mostly just working, but lately I've been getting into because I do have a story if you don't mind me telling the story.
Please go ahead.
So for those who follow my Twitter, probably know that I got hospitalized not long ago. Yeah, it's a thing, guys. Take care of your health. It's important. Anyways,
you got hospitalized because you mentioned that you were overworking.
People think it's overworking. I don't have anything on my defense. Yes, it's overworking. Technically, it is overworking, but in another technicality again, it's influenza. So, it might be overworking. It might be not, who knows, cope a little bit.
Because if you are not getting enough rest, it kind of lowers your immune system. So all sorts of things can enter your body,
Yes. So, get enough sleep, guys.
Yes.
But yeah, I did get hospitalized for about 3 days. I was so bored for those 3 days because you can't leave your bed technically, and so technically I'm like in a YouTube rabbit hole, and on YouTube rabbit hole, and I just got bored of that YouTube rabbit hole, and I'm like, okay, I heard that Honkai Star Rail have a really good story. Let me just try that out. And then I got hooked. So yeah, lately my addiction is to Honkai Star Rail and FF14. I haven't logged in for a while for FF14.
I saw your Honkai Star Rail adventures recently, and I gotta admit, it's actually one of those mobile games that make me go, wait, this is actually good. And you know how often these mobile games, they give you a starting character that represents yourself, right? And then they end up being just mid at best. You know what I mean, right? Yeah. But somehow the main character in Honkai Star Rail is a badass. And they are actually a very viable character. So I am just over here like, wait a minute, this game is actually good. Gitu loh. Yeah. But then what 5 stars you got in Honkai Star Rail so far?
Okay, funny story. So
Okay.
I do have my account, right?
Okay.
The Rose account, the one with Stelle. And I also have a second account. So this account is like my old account when I first started, when it started like booming, and I'm like, okay, let me just play this game. And then like I stopped because I stopped after the tutorial because like I don't like what is it called? Turn-based game?
Combat. Yeah.
Yeah, turn-based combat game. It's not too fun for me. But at the end of the day, I kind of like got hooked to the story, so I guess the joke's on me. Anyways, so on my second account, I still I still play it from time to times when I'm don't tell my GM playing D&D, or like when I'm doing something I just wanted to click but not think, those kind of stuff. I play it time to times. And then a couple days ago, I kind of like, okay, let me just, I only pulled 10 pull on Luoka banner last time. Now it's Aventurin. I'm just going to try. And lo and behold, Aventurin come home in 20 pulls. So,
you got Wait, what? You got Aventurin in 20 pulls.
I got Aventurin in 20 pulls, yes.
Wow.
I got Aventurin in 20 pulls. And with that luck, that has become my main account. So yeah, I have Aventurin and Yanking now.
This kind of reminds me of the story when Honkai Star Rail first came out, and Bronya, right? Bronya is all over the banner, and Honkai Star Rail was basically very royal with its beginner pulls, right? So I think it was roughly 30 pulls for every new accounts back then. Like if you keep on playing, you roughly get the 30 pulls and stuff. Like when Honkai Star Rail first came out, because your grandpa here grew up on turn-based games, it's like it's in my blood, basically. So when this is turn-based, right, I knew I had to try this, especially coming from MiHoYo, right? Yeah, and that not only that the turn-based is very easy to understand, but I also absolutely love it, and most of the challenges are fun. And when it's finally time to gacha, I got my Bronya from all the free pulls. Basically.
That's cool. That's great. I think from the free pull, I got Yanking.
Yanqing is also nice. I'm not sure.
Yanqing is not bad. Like combined with Aventurin is actually pretty strong. I just need Tingyun and Sparkle and I'm like set.
Tingyun and who?
And Sparkle.
Is this a character from the Penacony storyline?
I think so. I don't know, but I watched the
You haven't started Penacony yet, right?
No, I haven't. Please, no spoilers.
No, it's fine because I'm supposed to start Penacony storyline as well, actually. But then I got really busy with huge assignments from classes. So I was planning on playing it only when I had more time, right? But then but this is also another funny story. Funny story ni banyak ya. Ya kan? A funny story which led to another funny story, because on the day when I plan to I plan to play with the Panaconi storyline also. No, Martin, my assignments are over. It's basically a new school year now, so now I am much more relaxed. That's why I am capable of playing video games, right? But then, on that day when I was browsing Steam, right? Monster Hunter World was on a huge discount.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, which includes the Iceborne expansion. So I thought, the entire thing was for under 1,000 yen, So
Yeah, they
I
do.
thought,
They once Monster Hunter World Monster Hunter World and Monster Hunter Rise, when they do get discounted, it's normally like about 70% and above.
yeah. So
Yeah.
I was like, maybe I should give this a go, right? And it started another chain, because I basically to got myself interested, I was looking up the Monster Hunter World armors, and I made a tweet about it, right? Everybody, including their grandmothers, were asking, when am I going to start? Yeah. So I started just yesterday, right?
Yep.
I was wondering why people are so in love with this franchise. And I get it. I get it so much. Literally, all I did was just beat my first monster, and langsung kepikiran kan, man, I need to know more. Yeah. But you play as well, right? If I'm not mistaken.
I do, but it's I used to play it back then. I don't remember, maybe 2016, 2017. Nowadays I don't really play it anymore. I play it sometime when like I feel like I want something more actiony, less less thinking of like mechanical stuff in raiding, and more to like unga bunga, but still play safe somehow, kind of like type. I play it
Not gonna
sometimes.
lie, when you say unga bunga, I kind of felt that when I was in the training room for Monster Hunter World, where you get to try all the weapons. Then I got to the dual blades. And when I tried the dual blades for the first time, I think my brain just shut off completely. You know what I mean, right?
Dual blade is the easiest yet the hardest weapon in Monster Hunter.
Yeah, it's like when I was trying to out the dual blades, it's like my brain just shut off completely for some reason. I can see why people love this, for real. But
yeah, it's fun. It's really fun.
But yes, aside from that, selain FF atau Monster Hunter, are you into any other games, or are you interested in trying out something else?
I've been trying out Persona. Yeah, here's the thing. What I get from that is turn-based game is definitely not for me, because Persona has a very, very interesting story, but I got really, really lazy because of the
battle
combat
system.
Yeah, the combat system. So like Persona is basically based on the mood that I'm going to play it or not. But yeah, what else?
Yeah, unfortunately, the turn-based system memang is not for everybody, see.
Oh, there is a game that I'm looking forward to, but I don't know when it's going to be released.
Which one is it?
I don't remember the name, but it's a hotel management game, but you're a vampire, so you have to juggle between like killing the people who stay in your place for food, but also not too much that you get noticed by people. that you're a vampire. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool concept. I think it's called.
This is my first time hearing it.
Yeah, I think it's called hotel transfer. You know that thing.
Transylvania.
Yeah. I think it's called that.
I don't know. Because Hotel Transylvania is also the name of an animated movie.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. But when you say Hotel Transylvania, yeah, Transylvania, that particular location, right?
It might not be it.
Memang is where the vampire stories supposed to originate from, according to history. But not gonna lie, when you describe it, it sounds like a pretty interesting gaming.
It sounds cool, right?
Yeah, although I gotta ask, so you cannot stand turn-based games, but you are apparently okay with simulation management games.
Yes. So I like games.
You really are a CEO.
It's very weird because I like games that that kind of like that kind of like mixes up management and some action, because this is a first person view as well, the game.
So management and action,
yeah.
You know what's
Bloody Hell Hotel, I think. Yeah, it's called Bloody Hell Hotel.
Yeah, I'll look into it later. It does seem like a very interesting concept. But when you are talking about management and action, it sounds like plenty of medieval simulation games. If I were to think of those things, because plenty of them involves a lot of management as well, right? And because it's medieval management, so it's kind of expected that some combat is involved as well. Yeah, but in the majority of them, right? The combat is pretty much what's the word for it? Very simplified in most things, right? It's like what Simpu said. Mount and Blade is a franchise that's actually famous for this. It's basically an army management simulator. You have to manage the economy of your army. You have to feed them. You have to give them wages and stuff. And the more professional the soldiers, so the higher amount of money you have to pay them.
I see.
Yeah. So in most cases, the fun can be had from this. The game series are called Mount and Blade, by the way. And the idea of fun is you can have an entire army of nothing but peasants and regular people. Basically, your everyday mundane laborer and tukang sapu going to battle with brooms and pitchforks, right? You don't have to pay much for them, but you can send them to fight against professional soldiers, which is a bit cruel, but hey, And additionally, you can have a much smaller army with like maybe 20 or 30 people only, but they are all the kind of very fully armored cavalry that you often see in medieval movies, right? So you can often see them destroying bigger armies, but these bigger armies normally have less professional soldiers, so it's pretty fun, right? After that, there is also romance involved in the game, so you can go you can be a female character or find yourself a husband, or you can be a male character, find yourself a wife. Lucu lah pokoknya sih, kan? Yeah.
I see.
Though I think the fun part is honestly mostly from the memes the community make, because when huge management game like this, right? there are plenty of things that needs to be programmed, right? So apparently due to a programming error, there is a meme that one of the NPCs in the game, while they like to be gifted, right? But there is one particular commodity that will make them very happy, right? But if you give them anything else, their loyalty rating doesn't go up for some reason. And why is it a meme? Because the commodity that makes them happy is butter.
Oh, butter.
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 So, yeah. So you take this piece of information and a bunch of people who spend too much time on the internet, you get a meme of, I fight for the Butter King lah. I raise my banners for the Butter King, and then people would basically mod the game where the banners of their medieval army flags are like sticks of butter. So
that's pretty hilarious, yeah.
It's from such a simple concept. For those who play, if you know, right? But yeah. What other management games that you tend to enjoy?
What other management game that I tend to enjoy? I do enjoy XCOM too, to a certain level.
Huh?
XCOM.
XCOM? Seriously?
Yeah.
For real? Wow. I used to play that a lot when I first came out,
I used to play that a lot too. I don't play it anymore, but I used to play it a lot.
Yeah, it does count as a management game.
It is a management game.
Yeah, you have to manage a small army fighting aliens.
Yeah.
XCOM 2 though. Okay, that's surprising coming from you.
Why? It's a management game.
Huh?
It's a management game.
I mean, it is, but it's when you mention management game, right? I was thinking something along the lines of city skyline or civilization gitu, right? Because you gotta admit, right? When somebody says management game, for those who are not familiar with it, right? This is what we think of first, basically. I think, maybe, right? But XCOM. Damn, okay. I guess you're going to like the more complex ones. Are you into the medieval genre as a whole?
Not really. I'm into more of the it's not medieval. Like the Renaissance. I'm more into the Renaissance era. Yeah.
Europa Universalis. That's the one you should look up for.
Europa Universal?
Yeah, Europa Universalis.
Europa. Oh, here, Europa Universalis.
It's.
Oh, I know this game. Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of the much more beloved management game as well, but
it's more tactician, isn't it?
It's more of a niche thing, because if you mention Europa Universalis, at least in my case, yeah, only the people who are really into management and grand strategy or simulation games, right, would be playing Europa Universalis. Although, at least in my case, right, have you ever heard of Age of Wonders?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, Age of Wonders 4 I think came out just last year, and I've been playing that. So I think that's my version of management game that Grandpa is basically currently playing right now. Because if you, I mean, you play Final Fantasy and you play D&D, so it's safe to assume that you like the high fantasy genre as well.
Yes, I do like high fantasy
So,
genre.
Age of Wonders 4, the fourth game, right, is very high fantasy. You know, it's very high fantasy. And instead of choosing which army or which faction to play, right, you build the aesthetic of your faction from scratch. Yeah. So their army editor is arguably one of the easiest to understand, but also pretty extensive, right? Like they'll give you a base race, for example. You can choose all the way from basic humans, right? To things like dog people, you have cat people, right? You even have things like goat people and frog people, banyak, basically. And the thing is, in high fantasy genres, right? When you choose, say, let's just say the orcs, for example, right? In high fantasies, orcs are often portrayed as the barbaric ones, right? Betul kan? But in Age of Wonders 4, right? You can give your orcs, say, a culture trait where instead of living like barbarians, they live like paladins.
Ooh.
Like a very high society culture, which are normally for elves, you know? So you can have an army of orcs, right? Dressed in elven fashion, but worshipping a dragon. Because your army leader can either be a regular orc, a wizard king, or a dragon. Gitu. So it gets pretty interesting from there because it doesn't stop there. Because as you play through the game, you are going to unlock things while playing the game. So your orcs can even have a higher form of evolution as the longer the game goes. So maybe your high paladin orcs will discover, say, the ability to walk on water or the ability to float on clouds. It gets very crazy. Gitu. Very high fantasy. So if you I think you are going to like Age of Wonders 4 a lot, basically.
I see. I'll think about it because I'm
Time is hard.
I'm not very into tactician game. Yeah, other than well, I can't even say the Fire Emblem series anymore because like I got really tired of the Fire Emblem series at some point.
I'm fair, honestly. As a Fire Emblem fan, I get it. Not
that it's a bad game or the story is not interesting, but nowadays, I think it's starting from the Fates where like they have different timeline, and they kept that with them. It got really, really boring because you have to replay at least the first half of the game over and over and over again. So like Fire Emblem Three Houses has 4 different endings. I finished 3 out of was it 4? 5. 5 different ending. I finished 3 out of 5. When I was trying to do the 4th one, I got really, really bored. I can't do it anymore.
Yeah, but it's basically not a game for completionists because I get what you're trying to do. After I finished Fire Emblem Three Houses first playthrough, right? And it was already pretty tedious for me, at least, right? Because, you know, I am mostly a PC gamer, right? So, but even though I have a Nintendo Switch, right, I spend most of my time in front of my laptop. Gitu. So if I had to pick up a Switch to play a game, it's kind of like, how do I put this? You know, I could do 5 different things at the same time on my laptop. So even picking up a different console kayaknya capek sih. It's personally speaking. Yeah. So, but I did all that because I'm also a Fire Emblem fan, right? And I finished my first 3 houses playthrough.
Which house did you choose your first?
Your grandma might be Your grandpa might be a bit of a sim, so he went for Edelhard.
Oh, okay.
You're not going to judge me for choosing Edelhard, right?
No.
Okay.
Why would I? I think the canon ending is the Blue Lions one, right? I think it's Blue Lion, or the serious one was the canon ending.
I am not sure, to be honest, because while the Blue Lion Prince does have quite a bit of a, I don't know, people call it angry arc.
No, it's the edgy arc.
Or his edgy arc, right? But I never actually checked his storyline because after finishing Edelhard's story, I am just like, do I really have to replay this just to get the Golden Deers and the Blue Lion endings?
Yep.
After that, after so boring. Like, though, to be honest with you, right? Maybe if this was 10 years ago when I still have plenty of energy to play all the games, I would do it. You know, but then for people like me, right? When I'm like in my mid, wait, nanti ngedoxing umur asli. Yeah, but I am like in my. Okay, I don't want to dox my real age, so I'm just going to say I am past my prime. Right? And I wish I have plenty of energy to play more games. But unfortunately, I just don't. Although, honestly, sometimes, right, seeing you go into raids with all the other Roti members, even up to the blind mornings, right? Terus what lo? You're pretty strong, you know.
But that's at the end of the day, when I play until the blind morning, it's I don't think about it anymore. So like it's kind of like, for example, last time it was T, right? It was the Adventure of Alexander. I don't think anymore. It's already like muscle memory.
Oh.
We keep on failing before the limit cut, kan?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was muscle memory. It wasn't me or anything, but it was really muscle memory.
Wow.
So yeah.
Muscle memory.
Yeah.
You know, you are not wrong, because I think I still remember the Garuda phase of Chtul'hu with pure muscle memory, and I never make it past Ifrit because I got busy again, right? Plus my game backlog is very huge, so I got distracted by other games. Like recently, one of my childhood games got a spiritual successor. I think you've heard of it, Eiyuden Chronicles.
No, I have not.
Oh, it's fine. Have you ever heard of a title called Suikoden before?
No.
Wow. All right.
I'm not into JRPGs unless they're huge.
No, it's fine. I think it just means there's more grandpa story time from this one. So basically, this used to be a very huge titles back in the PS1 era, right? And at least amongst plenty of Japanese old goods and fans of JRPGs, right? There is kind of a back and forth argument, right? But the game Suikoden 2 was touted as one of the best JRPGs to ever exist on the PS1. And for a very good reason, because the entire thing is also very extensive. Suikoden is roughly based from the old Chinese tale of water margin. If you have heard of water margin, I think it's the one is also the name for the one with 108 bandits.
No, I have not.
Oh wow, you never heard of this one before?
Yeah.
My god, I think this makes me really, really old. But anyway, yeah, it's the 108 bandits, which were then adapted into the story of Suikoden, right? It's a very old story of seeking justice, basically. And that is the theme of the Suikoden games as well. And the reason why the 108 bandits from the original Chinese story is important, because in the PS1 era, right, in Suikoden 2, if you can collect up to 108 characters that you can bring to battle with you. Chtul'hu. So imagine having to design 108 playable characters at the PS1 era. Right? So basically the characters, just when you have 108 choices, right? It ticks off all the husbando and waifu boxes. You know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But there is also another thing where it is also where I got my first childhood trauma. You know, because apparently there's a secret in the game that if you do not, basically there's a point in the storyline where you are supposed to assault the capital city of the city in the game, right? But if you do not collect all the 108 heroes before you assault the capital city, the main heroine dies.
Okay.
And I didn't know this. So I didn't collect all 108 heroes back then. Went to assault the capital city as I believe I was 11 or 12 years old. And I saw the concept of heroine death for the very first time as a child. So I think you can imagine how that goes. As an 11, 12-year-old watching that in a video game for the very first time, needless to say, I think it was also where I was pretty traumatized, right? Yeah. But that being said, there hasn't been any Suikoden games in the PS3, PS4, and now PS5, right? Because I don't know, but Japanese publishers have no idea how to treat their old classic titles. No offense to them, right? But basically the creators of Suikoden, right, had a Kickstarter like about a few months ago, right? Where they where they kickstarted what will be the spiritual successor of these games, called Eiyuden Chronicles, right? And it was released, I believe, on the 26th. Gitu. So yeah, I bought that basically, and now I am patiently waiting to basically play it on stream, and I prevented myself from watching any video related to it. But so far, at least from what I heard of people talking about it, right, they say it surpassed their expectations. Even though it's pretty much even though for most people it basically is a nostalgia bait, but I don't really care when people say nostalgia bait, because what is good for people differs from one another, right? When you
Yeah.
think about it. Yeah. So yeah, that's the. Oh, what was I trying to make a point again?
You were talking about. We were talking about. I don't remember.
I do.
Yeah, that was the. It was a pretty tangent.
I'm sorry.
That's
Well,
okay.
No, it's fine. I kind of have the maybe it's the drinks or maybe what, because I do have this habit that if I talk for very long periods of time, I kind of forgot what am I supposed to be talking about again. My bad.
It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
We were talking about Fire Emblem.
Oh yeah, Fire Emblem and JRPGs in general. Yes.
JRPGs,
Yes.
JRPG.
Yeah, we were talking about JRPGs in general, but yeah, you weren't a big JRPG fan then. Basically.
I'm not, but I do like the mainstream one. You know, your Final Fantasy. Well, technically, I only play Final Fantasy 14, 15. I know that I know.
No.
Final Fantasy 15 is actually my first Final Fantasy. Oh no, sorry. Final Fantasy 10 is my first Final Fantasy. Sorry.
No, it's fine. You know why? Because the reason why these games become mainstream, like, don't feel bad about yourself for liking mainstream stuff. You know, the reason why these games become mainstream in the first place, right? Because they are pretty easy to pick up and they are pretty easy to understand for a lot of people. Or it could also have to do with how they promote things back then. Plus, Final Fantasy also sounds like something a lot of English speakers would resonate with, instead of, you know how a lot of JRPGs, right? When they got brought over to the English-speaking world, they don't really change the context or pronunciation of the titles. So, difficult to pronounce titles tend not to see the light of day, whereas very simple to pronounce titles like Final Fantasy, they became a mainstream stay. So there's a reason why a lot of these games go mainstream. And yeah, gitu aja. If you play the mainstream ones, that means you probably have a smidgen of interest in the JRPG genre in general. Not to mention, I don't blame people for not liking the JRPG title, because a lot of these old games they have a tendency to be very tedious. Yeah, kan? They are grindy, they are tedious, and back then, because these games were the quote-unquote pinnacle of gaming at their time of inception, yeah, so most people don't mind. But when it comes to grindy games like this, as of today, I don't think the genre where you are supposed to grind a lot are very popular anymore, given that nowadays people have less time to play and they need to work more. You know what I mean, right? Yeah, gitu. So, tell me more about what you like about Final Fantasy X, though. How was it?
I think my first Final Fantasy was like Final Fantasy. It's not 10. It's 10X. X2. 10-2? The magical girl one? Yeah, it's because it's magical girl.
Wow, you basically went on a 1.5 journey.
Yeah, and I don't remember anything of it. I really don't remember anything. So that's why I was like, yeah, my first Final Fantasy is Final Fantasy X, or like, you know, X2. But I would say my actual first Final Fantasy is Final Fantasy 15. When I started to like actually enjoy
15,
storytelling, actually, you know, those kind of stuff. Yeah, 15. People think that it's shit. I think it's fine. As a standalone, like as someone whose entry point is Final Fantasy 15, it's fine.
Yeah, because for a lot of the Final Fantasy players, right, they were expecting like some form of uh difficulty and such, but but most but it's also because you know the traveling feature with the regalia in Final Fantasy 15, right? That is a first time feature in the FF15 game, right? Where you travel, you just leave your console on and you have them travel in the car to gain certain points, right? That was a first feature for the first time in FF15. And if you are a much older FF15 player, it might just be something that doesn't sit well, basically. Soalnya apa, people like action, bukan oh god, some of the ruder comments about that game is like boy band field trip.
I actually like the combat system better, obviously. As
Okay.
someone who doesn't like a turn based.
Yeah,
But-
because it's full of action, right?
Yes. But yeah, I just don't know. But I think like people were calling the story writing bad as well. I'm like, I don't mind it. I really don't mind it. Yes, for the entire story, you gotta have to go to the outside sources. But that's the same thing as Nier Automata, but people hail Nier Automata, so you know.
Good and bad storyline are honestly pretty subjective. See, plus you got to remember with the Dragon God games, the Nier games basically. With the Dragon God games, right? The fans are not as vocal as Final Fantasy purists. Yeah, so the reason why people are probably praising Nier Automata, because not to mention that the last Nier game was in if I'm not mistaken, PS2. I believe it's also called Nier, but I just completely forgot the name. Because
No, I think Nier Automata was the last one. So the first one is called Nier Replicant.
Yeah, I mean before Automata.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So Nier Replicant, right?
Yes,
Nier
Nier
Replicant is
Replicant.
basically the predecessor, quote unquote predecessor. Not a predecessor. I mean the sequel, quote unquote sequel of the joke end for Dragon Guard 3, and then it goes to Nier Replicant, and then it goes to Nier Automata.
So Dragon Guard came after Nier Replicant.
Yes, but the story of Dragon Guard and the story of Nier Automata are two different. So it's two different universes. So it's very different. So there is a past behind. There's a past between Nier Replicant and Nier Automata that's not in the game. So you gotta have to read the books or watch the stage play for it.
The stage play.
Yeah, there's two stage play of it.
They have a stage play?
Yeah. There's two stage play. One is the past of the leader of the resistance. And the other one is the testing of the Yorha boys. So you know how the boys are only the S type?
Yes.
So there is a reason why there is only an S type as the boys.
And I have to watch the stage play in order to get
to
the
know,
answers.
yeah.
Aku baru tahu mereka ada stage play. Wow.
No, yeah, they have stage play, and then there's a book. The book is basically the book. I don't remember if they have a book of Nier Automata, but there is a book of Nier Replicant to kind of like bridge the story.
I see. Damn, that's like a deep rabbit hole.
Yeah, it's a deep rabbit hole.
The more you know, I suppose. But yeah, it's still now it kind of makes sense because it still goes back to how games with pretty huge rabbit holes, right, tend to have a much more chill fan base when especially when the fan base is not as big as the mainstream fan base games, for example. And even in the mainstream fan base, itu pun masih apa, they are still divided, you know. For example, do you know that up to this day there are Final Fantasy purists who will absolutely never touch the online games? Like, there are still Final Fantasy online games. I believe, what's the other one that is not 14? Is it 11 or
11.
12?
11.
Yeah, Vanadiel, right? Vanadiel is 11. I think so. Yeah.
Yes.
But basically, yeah, there is a group of Final Fantasy fans who will never touch the online games for whatever reason why, but they don't consider them Final Fantasy games because they apparently are allergic to the idea of an online subscription. But I guess it's, you know, people making their own opinions. I don't know what people think sometimes.
I mean, like, they're entitled in their opinions, but like,
True.
it's a problem where it became an echo chamber. I mean, you know, whether you like something or you dislike something, it's your thing, right? If I said turn-based game is boring, doesn't mean you think that it's boring, right?
Now I'm pretty sure you basically said that word in front of your grandpa, who basically live and breathe turn-based games, and I'm not mad at you. So
yeah, exactly. It's a problem when you start arguing it because of it.
yeah,
Just because that you think it's true and you think that it's the absolute truth. That's the problem.
right. I mean, to each to their own, I suppose. Because granted, I can also see, at least I could understand why people would never touch turn-based games, right? Because I got that some of their arguments are actually pretty strong. These games can get very tedious, and admittedly, even from my side, right? When something gets a little too tedious, even I don't have the joy or the feel to continue it. You know. Yeah. So yeah, a lot of what they say actually makes sense. Not to mention with how especially hard it is to find good turn-based game nowadays. So in order to find a good balance, I'm just glad things like the Yakuza series existed. For example, because it's one of the very few games that can be a bridge in between action and turn-based games. Like, the earlier Yakuza games are purely action. Have you ever played any of them? Yakuza
No,
games?
I haven't played the Yakuza games. Yeah.
If you are busy,
I wanted to start it because Grandma and Mike told me that it's very, very the story is very good.
Yeah.
Money.
It's
There
not
is
just
a big long list of like.
It's not just the money, Rose. It's the emotional investment in another franchise.
That's fine. I mean, I have a lot of like emotional investment in a lot of franchise. Overwatch is included, so.
Is that why you keep on sticking with Overwatch?
Yeah, it's because when I first play Overwatch, I actually got invested into their lore. So like I can tell you like
Overwatch 1, right? Overwatch 1. The first
Overwatch
one. Right?
1. I think the Overwatch 2 also have the same lore. It's just I don't think there is anyone that's expanding the lore anymore. Back then I think his name is Michael Chu. Was doing the lore, and he was constantly, you know, getting out the lore basically.
I know who Michael Chu is. I think when he was there, I think he wasn't just the guy who was behind the direction of the law. He was basically also the guy who is also in charge of deciding the character designs as well. Because not gonna lie, when Overwatch also came out in 2016, I think. Yeah. Your grandpa here is also invested in it. Because my god, the designs are something else, you know. Like the characters are so unique. I remember being completely mesmerized when I saw the Overwatch gameplay trailer for the very first time, and
Yeah, it's first of its kind. There is no such thing back then. There is no such thing as a skill. What is it called?
Hero
Skill.
shooter.
It's not hero shooter. Something they're called something like something with skill, like skill shooter or something like that.
Skill-based shooter.
I think so. I don't remember what it's called, but it's become a genre now, because of Apex, because of Valorant and the like, right? But back then there is no such thing as like a first-person shooter with a skill abilities.
Skills, yes,
Abilities. I think it's
yes.
abilities or something.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was one of a kind. It was a leader, and then goat meta happened.
I saw it happen as well.
So basically, goat meta, or like Brigitte in general, was created
the meta when you stack tanks together? That's the one, right?
Yes, that's the one. So it became like that because of Brigitte, right? In the pro scene, everyone was doing a dive meta. There wasn't any what is it? What do you call it? Any variation of it. But in my opinion, as someone who watched League, yes, everyone is doing dive meta, but they are doing it slightly different. So some people use, for example, back then there's two tanks, right? Winston and Diva. Some people use Hammond and Diva. Some people use Winston and Hammond. There's some variation to it, and there's some people who uses like the two flanking one. For example, Genji Tracer. But there are some people who do like one flanking one and one sniping one. So like Genji Widowmaker or like Genji Hanzo, those kind of stuff, or like Genji Pharah. There is some variation to it, but it is at the end of the day still a dive meta. It became
tiring to watch.
Yeah, they think it becomes tiring to watch, and then they are very short-sighted about it. So they made Brigitte, which it became a disaster. Do you know goat meta is meta for like a year? It was meta for a year.
I remember actually because I was there. I was there when Brigitte also came out, right? And when Brigitte came out, the game pretty much became who can drain whose shield. And if I'm not mistaken, there was a huge argument because the DPS are not doing it. The DPS heroes are not doing enough DPS, right? But if the DPS heroes can shred the shields as fast as people want them to be, then what is the point of having shield heroes? Gitu loh. So yes, go on.
The goat meta was invented because of the dive meta, right? But it became invented because of Brigitte's broken AoE healing. So rather than having a DPS, they would rather have Thingy become the DPS. Who's Zarya? They would rather have Zarya become a DPS. Zarya is a tank.
Yeah,
but
I'm trying to calculate here.
she really hurts when her energy is 100. She really hurts when her energy is 100.
Yeah, I remember this.
They really tried. They tried debuffing the damage. They tried everything basically. There is no quick fix for it until the roll Q came. Double shield was after the roll Q. Because in response of the goat meta, they increased the shield.
Mm-hmm.
And then double shield. Oh, one, they increased the shield. Second, Sigma came out.
Ah.
Yeah, so double shield meta came to light after that.
I remember now. Yeah.
Yeah. No, Overwatch has a complex story.
I guess that's when I kind of lost the sight as well, because I stopped playing the game. I not stopped playing the game. I don't play the game as much when Sigma came out, you know. So, but that's also because I think it was during the years where I first transitioned from living in Indo to living in Japan, right? So during the first 1 or 2 years, I didn't really have time to touch video games as well. So yeah, I wasn't paying attention to the Overwatch League in general. But I also made a decision to stop playing Blizzard games, especially after what happened in World of Warcraft Shadowlands, right?
Mm-hmm.
After that, I basically just don't touch Blizzard games anymore. Gitu. So that's also why I haven't heard anything from Overwatch. So yeah. But it's mainly
yeah.
yeah.
I keep a watch on it, but like I don't technically play it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm pointed at it.
Because you're what? You wanna?
I'm disappointed at it.
Same.
Yeah, especially after the story. After the story thing happened, like they scrapped the story mission. Completely.
I was actually wondering what are they thinking, you know?
No, Overwatch died when Jeff Kaplan left.
Shouldn't it be when Michael Chu left?
No,
No
it wasn't. It wasn't.
Oh. Yes, you have a point. Yeah, Overwatch died when Jeff Kaplan left.
Yeah.
Although in my case, right, Grandpa just stopped touching Blizzard games in general after what happened in Shadowlands, as I mentioned to you earlier. Basically, right, Final Fantasy XIV is your first MMO, right? In a sense. So, to explain things, World of Warcraft being one of the earliest MMO to survive up to today, yeah, they have this concept called world quests, where you can go out there in the maps of the world and you basically do quests which are easily joinable by other players in order to complete it, right? So it's as easy as you don't have to queue for anything. A player can just, all they have to do is just to physically be there, so in order to complete the world quest together. That's why it's called world quest, because it's to basically keep the world in World of Warcraft living and moving.
So it's like Fates.
Pretty much, right?
Okay.
But the joke is that the developers at Blizzard took one look at Fates, right? And decided they want to do the same thing. Because the Fate system came out first before World Quest. Yeah, kan? And here's the funny part, because we are back to Grandpa storytelling. Fates isn't an original mechanic from the Final Fantasy XIV developers. Yeah, back then there is a system called mythic questing from a very old MMO called Warhammer Fantasy Online. Yeah, they had this quest system which is basically the skeleton or the predecessor of the fate system, right? Players can join. Wait, I remember. It's called public quests because it's public. Anybody can join. All you have to do is just to physically be there. So yeah, if we are talking about who did this system first, Warhammer Fantasy Online did it first, right? So the reason, and with world quests in World of Warcraft, right? These things are some of the easiest way to get experience, better armor than what you are having, and all of that jazz. So, what now? The entire point of getting armor in an MMO is so you could become stronger, and when you want to help your friends, you can just come bring in your character with all the strong armor combination and just slap everything for your friend, right? Pretty much. Benar kan? Yeah. Now, then they roll a patch in Shadowlands, right? Where basically what they did is that all the world quests in the world, all the fates of World of Warcraft, basically, they scale in difficulty according to the armor we are wearing. So what's the point of getting better armor? Kan? That's why I got really mad, because at that time I had some of the best armors in the game, which I gathered from slapping people in PvP, right? And the whole point was so that doing world quests would be as easy as drinking water, basically. Tapi ya itu, the new patch in that one particular day in Shadowlands says that world quest difficulty, fates difficulty lah, they scale according to the level of your armor. So do you see the absurdity? Like their entire reasoning behind this was so that the world would be more challenging. Orang kan purposely get better armor so these challenging things can become trivial kan. Gitu. So
I see.
Yeah, so I got mad. I spent, I think, 1 or 2 months to get the armor I want so I can do world quests easily. And then one day I'm just really mad because I was the only guy left in World of Warcraft in my guild. Everybody else went to Final Fantasy. This was when Stormblood was still going on before they announced Shadowbringers, right? So on that day, I decided enough is enough. I cancelled my WoW subscription, uninstalled every single Blizzard game from my laptop, right? And just when a friend invited me to play with their FC in Stormblood, I just happily go along and that's when I got introduced to Roti for the first time after a few months later, and I think from there it's pretty much history. Gitu. So yeah, that used to be a thing. That's why karena I don't touch Blizzard games, I also don't follow the Overwatch development story. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Overwatch is I think the first time that I actually play games, like actually be a gamer, when I started doing Overwatch. That's when I started like, all right. Afterwards, I'm a gamer.
What
but
was
back then,
your main, basically?
Mercy. I can't aim, but I'm very, very good at my situational awareness. So the thing about Overwatch is, back then at least, I don't know about it now. Back then at least, aiming is not a must. Basically, Jeff Kaplan told vision for the game is that this is a game that anyone could enjoy, regardless of their aiming skills, which he proves. My aim as Anna is so shit, but I'm very good at knowing where I put my slip dart and where I put my grenade. That I could like my win rate was, I think it was 60-70%, which is above average.
I mean, not gonna lie, that's how I play Anna back then. I just overly rely on my biotic grenade, right?
You don't overly rely on the biotic grenade as well.
Tapi saya kan smooth brain, jujur. I think I told you this a few times, but your grandpa here is very smooth brain. And I'm supposed to be a giant robot. What am I doing with my life, honestly? But yeah, and with the healing, I know that Anna's sniper rifle is a healing rifle, right? But at the same time, gimana ya? I just fire it point blank at the person.
Yeah, positioning is one of the most important thing in Overwatch, Grandpa. Because if you die, no one can heal your team.
True.
Yeah. So based on your role, you have different priorities on like what skill is the priority. If that's making any sense.
True. But yeah, although you do have a point with your words with Anna, because back then what got me into Overwatch was the existence of Reinhardt, basically. I think you can pretty much guess my main from udah ketahuan dari tampang Vtubernya sih. Yeah, so but if it's not Reinhardt, it will be Winston, because even with Winston, you don't need to aim, basically.
Yes.
Same thing. All you have to do is just jump in, zap with your gun, create as much chaos as possible. Then when the enemy team is too focused into you, you jump back to your team, pretty much. And it gives room for your team to be doing other objectives, like no push, basically.
Yeah.
Tapi I think you have seen this also before when you did plenty of things for your team, but somehow they are allergic to the payload.
It's called a C9.
Yes, the C9.
It's called the C9 because Cloud9 did it in the pro level.
Yeah, I remember it. I still remember the C9 screams. I watched that. It was pretty funny hearing. Was it the announcer who was like C9? Gitu.
I don't remember actually. I wasn't there. I did not watch it. But I know it.
Yeah. But so if I remember this one correctly, basically people were screaming. One of the announcers was screaming C9 the mic in the microphone because of their backdoor payload pushing, right? And it became a meme, basically.
Yeah.
Those were interesting times.
It was. Even GOAT meta. The reason that the name is GOAT meta because there is a amateur competition that actually uses that team comp, and their name is GOAT. That's why it's become the GOAT meta.
Oh, that's the origin of the name?
Yeah.
Wait, really? There was a team called GOAT. Oh.
Yeah, there was a team called GOAT. They are amateur or like academy level.
Wow. Okay, I have a confession to make. All this time when people call it a GOAT meta, even back then, right? Grandpa assumed that they call it a GOAT meta because you know how GOAT is a kambing and kambing taunya nyeruduk doang.
Oh yeah, I thought that too. No, it wasn't
Yeah,
that.
so I just assumed it's called a good meta because all people do is just dive in like a good, charge things like a good. So yeah, there was a team called Gundah.
There's a team called Good. Yes.
Damn, I know this just today.
The mod meta is also there.
The what meta
But
now?
the mod meta when Mercy got reworked first, it was so OP that everyone uses it, and they call it the mod meta. But I'm not too sure if it's called the mod meta because the pro player mod uses it, or because it's annoying.
I will. I need to stop you there because when you say the mod meta, right? And when you say that Mercy got rework, I got to ask, which rework is this?
Oh, her ulti.
Because Mercy got reworked a few times to the point that her character idea changed a lot.
She got reworked once, Grandpa. She got reworked once, but she got nerfed and buffed quite a bit.
Huh? Wasn't she reworked a few times?
No, she got reworked once. She got a new ulti and a new ability, and that's it.
I know that she has a new ulti called Guardian Angel or something, and one of her new ability, which is basically arrest. Wait, no.
The Guardian Angel is not the name of the ulti, but yes, it's a new ulti where she can fly, and she heals basically AOE quote unquote. And then she got an ability that's rest. That stays, Grandpa. That always stays. The problem is the timing of the rest that got buff and debuffed, buff and nerfed.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, this is probably where I should pay more attention.
Yeah. Also, lately her Guardian Angel got. Her Guardian Angel is her only way to zip in and zip out of places, which is dumb, by the way.
Oh, is that why I often see Mercy players who have no idea how to fly, but Mercy players who seem to be able to fly next to Pharah all the time?
Yes. It's a skill to have, which is how do you stay afloat with a Pharah? But very dependent on Pharah.
Wow. The more you know, I guess. Wait, that means. Oh, selama ini I probably could have been making plays if I know about this, but I guess this is what I get for not checking out healing heroes. Yeah, Grandpa Dulu plays a lot of Overwatch, probably just as much as you do, but I mostly stick to tanks and DPS, and I think the only healer that I was ever interested in playing, right, was when Baptiste first came out. Yeah. Like the idea of a healing grenade launcher and the wall which can stop things. I kind of enjoy the concept.
The wall cannot stop things. The wall is a buff for your damage. It's a damage buff. You mean his invulnerabilities?
I don't really remember much, to be honest. I thought that wall can stop things.
No. So the wall increases the damage that the enemy take if the person who shoots has their bullets went through the wall. But he has this thingy that that will that if an ally steps in it, they cannot die. It's called an info.
That actually explains why sometimes when I put the wall up, people still die. Oh. Wow, ini. Wah, kalau nggak dibilang sama cucu sendiri, gue lupa ingat atau yeah, that means all this time I've been playing Baptiste wrong.
Yep.
Aduh.
That's okay, Grandpa.
Yeah, maybe this is why I stick to Unga Bunga tanks.
That's okay.
That's okay. Okay. Then I guess I got my information wrong. Sorry. Oops.
That's okay.
Yeah. Well, that's all right. I suppose. Thanks for enlightening me. At least now I have some closure on why it seems like I played Baptiste wrongly back then. Now
That's all right.
Now it all makes sense. Thanks, by the way.
No worries.
Yeah. Anyway, earlier when you introduced yourself to our viewers, you mentioned cartomancy.
Mm-hmm.
Could you please tell more about that, basically? Because I remember that I went to your stream once and you gave me a tarot reading.
Mm-hmm.
And you basically told me about the things that I should be more aware of. And it gave me a pretty strong enlightenment, by the way. And I think it's because of that. Recently, I have to tell you that I got a little happier. Just a little bit.
That's nice.
Yeah, a little bit, because there was a point where you are correct, basically. Maybe I am also running or hiding from things that are too difficult to counter because I wanted my life to be a bit easier in general. But I suppose when you come to think about it, if you are not willing to confront or accept your weaknesses in general, right? Maybe then you could never grow as a person. Right? Yeah, so yeah, I had a bit of reflection. I think it was you gave me a tarot reading. I think it was around November.
It was
December.
ages ago.
Yeah, or it was around November.
Ages ago,
yeah, around November, December. I think I decided I should try to become a better version of myself. Right. So. I think it's working, but it's just not as fast as I wanted, but it's still working.
That's good. Yeah, it's not an instant cure to everything. That's
yeah. But although I think if you didn't tell me that, I know that cartomancy or yang namanya what's ramalan in English? Fortune telling. Yeah, yes. Fortune telling is something that should be taken with a grain of salt, right? But when it comes to advices, right, just advices in general, instead, I at the very least try to understand why people think of a certain person that way, try listening from their perspectives. So I know I probably shouldn't take your fortune telling seriously, but it kind of gnawed in my mind back then. So I did some self-reflection next to it, in a sense. And yeah, the results are pretty much, I think I should just tell you that my head is in a better place now, maybe thanks to you.
That's good.
Yeah, but what did you curhat ya? I'm sorry. Yeah,
that's
but anyway,
good. That's all right.
Yeah. Anyway, please tell us more about your cartomancy. How did you get interested in it in the first place, and why cartomancy in general?
So cartomancy is basically it's just a fancy way to say tarot reading, right? But the reason why it's cartomancy is because I do use tarot now, but back then when I started, I wasn't using tarot. So I kind of saying that it's tarot reading, it's like half right, half not, because yes, I'm doing what tarot reader does, but I'm using different cards basically. Cartomancy is basically just a term to say to kind of like do all of this stuff with a card, because there's a lot of ways to quote unquote fortune tell, right? Your palm, your face, your handwriting, whatever it is. Ask the Chinese people. Chinese have 1,001 way on like how to tell your future, right?
Of course, yeah, 1,001 way. Wow, okay. Yeah, go on. 1,001 okay.
So I started it. I don't remember when I started it actually. I started ages ago, and now it's kind of like a pastime that I do. I don't usually like to fortune tell, as in like I don't really like to tell the future, because future is very uncertain. Even when the card, whatever that the card said might not happen, because at the end of the day, the future is yours to make, right?
True.
The card is just telling the best outcome of it.
I see.
Yeah. Most of the time, I use fortune or cartomancy to kind of like understand people's it's mostly to help people who has struggle inside. So nowadays I do more things that's like generalized, because if I said if you have a problem or anything, most of them say no, not really, and I kind of understand, because it's not for everyone to air out their problem online, right? So I do some things that general.
Charged, by the way. Guilty as charged, by the way. Sorry, please go on.
Yeah, I do things by general, but most of the time I'm actually much more comfortable and much more better to kind of like either solve a problem that's coming from inside or coming from outside of the person. Basically.
Got it.
Yeah. But yeah, I use Glow card. If you're a fan of Card Captor Sakura, you know.
You said Card Captor Sakura. Aduh. Grandchild, do you know when you mentioned Card Captor Sakura, I feel like I'm aging all of a sudden.
I'm also in the age where Card Captor Sakura exists, Grandpa.
Yeah, wait, if we come from a generation where Card Captor Sakura exists, does that mean I should stop calling you grandchild and should call you grandma number 2 instead? Because we already have our first grandma.
No, yeah. Card Captors. I think like when I was a child, it's already Tsubasa Chronicles.
When you mentioned Tsubasa Chronicles, gua tambah tua lagi. Because I remember when I gotta ask, because I haven't looked at things in Indonesia for quite some time. Do you often go to Gramedia still when you have time?
Gramedia is closing left and right.
Dia beli buku di mana ya sekarang?
You don't. There's still Gramedia, but they definitely shrinking. And they're closing a lot of their stores.
Wait, where do people buy their shonen magazine?
Gramedia still. I like I told you, Gramedia still exists, especially online. But physical stores has been
also they have online stores now.
Yes.
'Getting wrong with the times, I suppose. Yeah.
And Kinokuniya closed down.
People just not read books anymore or something.
It's not that people don't read books. People don't read books, physical books anymore.
Oh.
Yeah. Because shonen and those kind of stuff, most people don't buy it in Gramedia.
Yes.
And then the novelists and those kind of stuff, people now use their either phone or tablet to read it.
No. This kind of makes sense, especially the reason why I'm also kind of here my friend Falco here says Kinokuniya tinggal satu toko di Jakarta. Wait, seriously?
Oh yeah. Di GI.
Harus ke GI. Yes,
It's either GI or Senayan, I forgot.
GI atau Senayan sih Falco? Because Falco is the moderator here, is a friend of mine who has been with me, for a very long time. Have I introduced you to him before?
I don't think so.
Yeah, so to tell there, right? Falco is a Sentai hero VTuber. He recently debuted a few days ago, right?
Oh,
But
congratulations!
But even before he debuted, right? Me and him go way back, right? Like we are talking about way back since the Kizuna Eye days.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I used to do short films, right? I think I told you about this before. Maybe I did, right? And he was there, basically. He helped me with my short films, right? Through thick and thin, basically. So now it's pretty funny how we both started making tokusatsu short films, right? And now we are here being VTubers, which is quite the thing. Ini dia bilang yang di Plaza Senayan sudah tutup. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
so I said Kinokuniya closed down, but correct me if I'm wrong. So it's closed down as in like they don't have PT Kinokuniya anymore here. Like the company closed down, but the store is still open. I don't know who own it or manage it, but it's not Kinokuniya.
That's honestly depressing to hear. But I suppose it's inevitable when people could actually just be reading books online or reading books from their Amazon Kindle when you come to think of it. So, yeah, kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
Now it also makes sense because I am acquaintances with some of the Indonesian comic book authors and artists, right? And one of them is basically a real household name in Indonesia, which I became acquainted with, and I believe he's part of the Bumi Langit team. If you have ever heard of them, comic Bumi Langit. Oh no, it's
I'm
basically
not into the comic. Yeah.
Oh, it's fine, but to explain, it's basically an Indonesian franchise of superhero comics in general. They are trying to revive Indonesian comic hero characters, which at some point apparently existed in the 70s and 80s. But they had a whole IP, and they are just trying to rejuvenate it basically at some point. And based on what you and Falco were saying earlier, now it kind of makes sense why now his books are only made to order. You know what I mean, right? His comic books, his physical comics are now only made to order. And pretty much if you want to buy a comic lokal yang physical, your best bet is either through mail order or through conventions, according to a lot of people I became acquainted with, which now kind of makes sense, because if the tokobuku, if the bookshops are closing one by one, and it's getting hard to get your book license there, especially since they are not even sure if people will still be coming out to buy books. So might as well self-publish. It kind of makes sense now. Let's see.
Yeah, book is dying. I don't know how the book industry works. I know the paper industry is technically dying.
Kok jadi Meng sedih here? Because I still remember Gramedia being one of my very frequent visits every time I go to a mall in where I used to live.
Mm-hmm.
But now that you say that Gramedia and Kinokuniya are even closing, no, I don't even know the Gramedia in my local mall still exists. Probably tutup juga sih.
I have no idea too.
Oh boy, this is actually getting very depressing. Okay then. Well, alright, let's change to a different topic this time kalau gitu. So, you mentioned Cardcaptor Sakura, right? Yeah. How did the topic Cardcaptor Sakura become the books? But anyway, yeah.
Because I said I'm using claw cards for my cartomancy.
Yeah. Hang on. Falco says he's still holding my Art of Overwatch book. Oh yeah, I bought that last time because I was so into Overwatch. So I bought the Art of Overwatch book, where where all the Overwatch original concept arts, they are all there, basically.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and the best part is I bought the book from a book fair, right? So I got it in a very good deal. I remember now, right? So yeah, the reason why I was asking about Cardcaptor Sakura because I believe the author of or the artist for Cardcaptor Sakura, are they the same one who did? Correct me if I'm wrong here. Are they the same one who is responsible for Clannad?
See, I don't know. Here's the thing, Grandpa. You have to understand. I was a child when I watched Cardcaptor Sakura, and I really love it, and I still love it.
Yes.
I just don't delve deep into it. And if I rewatch it now, I don't think I can. I am so sorry. I'm also very picky with the visual.
No, it's fine.
I used to love, at least as a child, Cardcaptor Sakura. So yeah.
I see.
So I don't know if it's the same artist or the same creator, but you can definitely look it up.
Wait. There's a viewer of mine here. They said yes. Apparently, the creator is more than one person, and their whole team is called Clam. Now
they also make. Was it the one that also makes Tsubasa Chronicles?
Yes. Yeah.
And Code Geass, yeah.
Yeah. Now it makes sense. I remember. Wait, Clam is a team, not a person. Huh. I thought it's one person. So apparently, according to them, the team is called Clam. All this time I assume Clam is one person. Oh dear. But anyway, please continue. You have her.
They have a collaboration with Uniqlo recently.
Recently?
Yeah, there's Tsubasa Chronicles in it. I bought that one.
That's nice. Did you get them or not?
I just bought the Chronicle Tsubasa one and the Cardcaptor Sakura. So there's also a Cardcaptor Sakura, like just Cardcaptor Sakura with Uniqlo, and there's a Clamp with Uniqlo.
Let's see.
Yeah. Oh my god. Saint Seiya is there too?
No, not just Saint Seiya. They started off as a Saint Seiya doujin group. Yeah, so I don't know if you heard this term before, right? But a doujin circle, a doujin group, they are not exclusively, what's the word for it? They are not exclusively works that are of the Rule 34 persuasion only. It's basically a team of like-minded artists gathered together, right, to create fan works. That's why it's called a doujin circle, right? Because doujin is literally translated into fan circle. So at least from in Japan, right, a lot of these hardworking doujin circles, they went on to create their own masterworks. So, but they started as making fan work. A lot of this tend to happen. So, yeah, it kind of makes sense now. Oh, they also make Magic Knight. Now, kalau Magic Knight Ray Earth saya tahu because it's a giant robot series and you know, saya giant robot. Oh, okay, that makes sense. Ray Earth, yeah. That kind of explains why all their art is pretty similar, though. To think about it.
I just knew that Tsubasa Chronicles and Code Geass art is quite similar. Just they're different in a sense, but they're quite similar.
The art style, right? In a way.
Yeah, the art style. Yeah.
I think I remember when Tsubasa Chronicle was made into a meme because of how the artworks from the group clan tend to have incredibly long legs.
Oh yeah, that's the fashion influence. That's why I like it.
Oh, the fashion influence, eh?
Yeah, so fashion influence different from the anatomy is different. I think it instead of how many hat was normally for like a whole body, for like
8.
the body.
7 or 8.
7 or 8, right?
Yeah.
So it's about 9 for fashion. So basically we have incredibly long leg normally on a fashion illustration. So if you see if you know Wings Club,
yes,
that's based on fashion illustration as well. They have very long leg.
When you are talking about Wings, the fairy comic series, right?
Yeah. No. The American one, WINX.
Yes, that's what I'm referring for. That's the one you're talking about, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So wait, that means you do have experience in designing in the fashion industry, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, I do. I do.
That's why you're very familiar with fashion art in general.
Yes.
And that's why in fashion art they have very long legs.
Yes, in general because it looks so much like outfit when you have longer legs, it just looks so much flattering. I don't know why.
I mean, I can see why, because that kind of explains why a lot of the catwalk models have very long legs in general.
We're just obsessed with long legs.
Are you still obsessed with long legs, son? If you want to know.
Yes, I use 7-centimeter heels.
You wait, how? 7 centimeters?
Yeah. Yes.
Sorry, I can imagine. This is something that is completely out of my element. And yeah. So
that's okay.
Yeah. So according to another viewer here, mecha have a tendency to have long limbs for all the transformation parts. I tend to agree with this one, but it's also because there is a better explanation as to why giant robots or mechas from old mecha cartoon have a tendency to have longer limbs back then, because they tend to have this very boxy art, right, between the 80s and between the 70s and the 80s, right? then somewhere in the middle of the 80s, along came this man who goes by Obari Masami, right? And he started incorporating human anatomy into the design of giant robots, right? So that's why I can show you his art later, right? But there is like a huge transition between the early giant robots of the 70s and 80s era. Then somewhere in the mid 80s, Obari Masami came along and included his designs, and suddenly the giant robots have like longer limbs, like longer legs, and they also look like a bodybuilder in general for that particular reason. And then the mechas just look really good. So I think that's also why big mecha have longer limbs and wide shoulders even, because I think fashion is also considered in this particular thing, because back then the stock mecha designs were all very boxy, like literal kulkas berjalan, walking fridges between the 70s and 80s, right? So yeah, it kind of makes sense now. Oh.
Oh
Ya kalau dipikir-pikir makin apa ya. But anyway, what time is it over there now? Isn't it getting late?
yeah, it is.
It is. Yeah, you sound very sleepy as well. Shall we end it here?
Sure.
Alright then. Yeah, because in about 5 minutes, it's going to be 2 hours as well, and we cannot promise to do a talk in just 2 hours. So, Rose, thank you so much for hanging out, by the way.
No worries. Sorry, I got to stay longer.
No, it's fine. I kind of got worried because you started sounding very sleepy.
No, yeah, this is me. After 2 hours in stream, I'm like suddenly like stuck.
This happened. I have a feeling that this happened in your other collabs too.
No, this happens in every stream that I have. If you see my stream, if it's more than 2 hours, I suddenly become quiet. Suddenly don't talk. I suddenly will like.
Wait, that kind of makes sense actually. Like you started the stream with full of energy, and then 1 or 2 hours later, hello guys.
Yeah, in 2 hours normally I become like very, very tired. Yeah.
Oh god, you better you go get a good sleep after this, okay?
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, anyway, we can end it for this evening. Honestly, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to come and hang out.
No
basically.
worries.
Yeah.
No worries. Thank you too for inviting, Grandpa.
I do apologize if I go on and on with my banyak omong panjang lebar. Because,
no, it's okay.
Because yang oh my god, maybe I am a grandpa because old people tend to talk and ramble a lot. Yeah.
Well.
But anyway, you want to do this again some other time or gimana?
Sure. When I have free time, I'll let you know.
Okay, when you have free time, of course, and probably we can play video games instead of talk. Maybe that will keep you awake. Who knows?
No, it won't.
Digimani.
No, I'm serious. If you see my stream, I always just playing game. Most of the time, it's just playing game, and I got sleepy after like 2 hours. It's just me, man.
Astaga. How things have changed. I honestly kind of remember that when we met for the first time, you had plenty of energy to spare. To be honest.
Oh my god, real life happened. Real life happened.
When even real life happened, no, I don't blame you. Even real life happened on my side. That's why I don't really bring up the baguette group anymore. It wasn't just me. It's not just you. I think even grandma got busy. Apa? There's a period of time where I think Rain wasn't even answering her inboxes because she got really busy. But I think that never mind. Everybody just got busy in general.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, all right. Do you have any other announcements that you can you want to tell everyone? Your next stream, your future plans, atau gimana?
Sorry, there's an earthquake right now.
So, there's a what?
An earthquake.
Eh?
I swear, I kid you not.
Earthquake, Jakarta. But you live in Jakarta, right?
No, just a little bit off Jakarta.
Oh.
Hold on,
Eh,
yeah? A
okay,
minute?
but-
Oh my god,
okay.
it's still going?
Are you okay?
What the fuck?
Hide under a table if you apa.
It's fine. It's not that big. It's not huge. It's not like it's swaying a lot. It's just it's long. BMKG.
Tapi kaget juga sih kalau misalnya apa. Last time we had
Oh, here
A
it
few-
is.
a few months ago, I had a scale 5 earthquake in Japan as well, and the entire quaking lasted about 10 minutes, basically. So imagine
Really?
10 minutes, everything in my room just shakes. Okay, and I think it was 2 in the morning. The entire neighborhood woke up because of the shaking. So yeah, it was pretty tense. But is it still shaking? Are you going to be
No,
okay?
no. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine now. But it was so long. It normally didn't like. There's earthquake every now and then. We all probably not as often as Japan. But like normally it wasn't this long. This one is in particular was pretty long. I started hearing like cracking because my floor is made out of wood, and I thought that someone like if someone get out of the room normally, especially downstairs, I normally would my floor would creak because like there's shift in the walls and whatever, right? So I thought it was that, and then
Oh.
until I saw my monitor literally like shaking. Yeah. Oh my god,
Oh,
that was pretty long. Yeah.
Oh dear.
Oh, here it is. Gempa magnitude 6,5 kedalaman 10 km. Koordinat
What?
where is that?
6.3.
Jabar. Kabupaten Garut, Jabar.
6.3 is not a joke in general. That
No.
things can still fall off the shelves and stuff.
It's by the where is it? Okay, it's by the sea. Don't worry. But it's
all right.
yeah, but it's Yeah.
It's still pretty long. But anyway, yeah.
it's still
yes,
pretty
so-
far to Jakarta or to even where I live. Holy shit.
Well, at least it's good to know that you're going to be okay.
Yeah, it's
Well
fine.
then, anyway, one more time, thank you so much for coming here tonight. I think, yeah, what I want to say earlier, do you have any announcements to make?
Right.
future-
Announcement. Yes.
Yes.
Yes, announcement. Oh my god, I totally forgot because I freaked out.
Nggak apa-apa, gua juga hampir lupa. I almost forgot to.
Announcement. I don't really have any. Just you're doing Emhawe, right? I'm also helping my friend doing Monster Hunter World. Tomorrow. Not tomorrow. Sorry.
Mhm.
Next week on Thursday, but it's not in my channel.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, follow me on Twitter, guys. I'll tell you where it is. It's in my friend's place.
All right. Don't forget to
another
follow her
collab.
social media and Twitter and shenanigans, right? And
Yes.
stuff. And speaking of
Yes,
MHawe,
yes.
well, I guess I'll be playing more MHawe next week with other games, of course, because
Mm-hmm.
the Steam sale just passed by and I bought a lot of shit. Tapi biasanya sih gitu, after I bought a lot of shit, they end up in my backlog. I'm just so glad that I don't buy them at full prices. But anyway,
Yeah,
so
never buy a game in full prices.
unless you are supporting it, or you are
Yeah,
just
yeah,
or you are a heavy fan of that franchise.
yeah, exactly. Like, Downtrail.
Thank you for reminding. I need to pre-order Downtrail.
Yeah, don't forget to pre-order Downtrail, guys.
Yeah, jangan lupa Downtrail if you're playing Downtrail, right? Anyway, so Otsu, I guess. Thank you for coming. We shall arrange for a future stream if you are interested. I mean, if you're interested in listening to this grandpa ramble for 2 hours, I'm sorry, right?
That's fine.
So in my channel is Otsu Gorudo, but what do you say in your channel? Otsu.
Otsu. Normally, I don't say Otsu anything. Normally, I just say Otsu. But I do have an Otsu Raven.
Otsu. That's
Otsu
my first time
Raven.
That's my first time hearing it.
Because I don't use it. I normally just say like, bye, have a nice evening or something like that. Or like Otsu, just that.
Alright, we'll just use the regular Otsu then, okay. So, thank you for coming tonight, everyone. We are going to end the stream here. And Otsu, Osakai-sama desu. Thank you for watching. Good night.
Bye-bye.
Yay.